Assalamu alaikum. All the students, you are welcome to the new class of second year science in the subject of zoology. My name is Mubeen Ahmad and I will deal with the zoology part of biology. I am to start today with the chapter number 1, which is called homeostasis. In this particular topic, today I am going to deal with one important aspect of osmoregulation in animals. The other two aspects, the thermoregulation and excretion, will be dealt afterward in the next class. What is osmoregulation? The maintenance of constant osmotic conditions. What are the osmotic conditions? The water and solute concentration in the body is called osmoregulation. It is a process in which osmotic pressure of a cell is determined by water and solute concentration by its regulation. The other way you can say like. Animals may be either osmoregulators or osmoconformers with respect to their external environment. There are two types of environment: internal environment of the cell and external environment of the cell. The concentration of water and solute which is inside the cell should be balanced by the external environment. So, to keep within a limit, which is homeostatic condition, to stay in a limit. So, osmoregulation is very essential for the living beings. What is osmomolarity? This means how much solutes are dissolved in a solution. What are solutes? The different types of salts, minerals, and sugars or carbohydrates that are dissolved in that solution. That keeps our body functioning normally. Animals are either osmoregulators or osmoconformers. Osmoregulators are those animals that can maintain internal osmotic concentrations different from the surrounding medium or outside environment are called osmoregulators. Such animals are hypotonic or hypertonic to their environment. So, if the internal environment fluid concentration is less than outside, then it is called hypotonic. And if the concentration of the fluid inside is more than the outside environment, then this is called hypertonic. So, these are the two conditions. Those animals that change the osmotic concentration of the body fluids according to that of the surrounding or external environment are called osmoconformers. These are isotonic to their external environment. It means the internal environment and external environment is same. Iso means same. So if the concentration on both the sides, inside the cell and outside the cell, it is the same, then this is called isotonic, and these conditions are called osmoconformers. These include all marine invertebrates, some freshwater invertebrates, and some marine vertebrates. Where marine vertebrates include most of them, the sharks, elasmobranchs, the bony fishes, and the cartilaginous rays. So, this is what the condition is. So, what are the osmoregulatory adaptation in animals? How do they manage to keep their internal and external environment regarding solutes in a balanced manner? Almost all are osmoregulators. Generally, hypotonic to their outer environment, hypotonic to their outer environment. These animals deal with these problems by producing large volume of diluted urine so that they retain more salts in their body, because the concentration outside the body is more. So the urine excreted dilutely, retaining more salts in their body. So the mechanism is to make more and more salt keep in their body physiologically. The kidney actively reabsorb the salt. The function of the kidney is such that nephrons, which are performing the secretion of waste materials while passing through the loops, they again reabsorb the salts into the blood vessels. So the concentration of salt is maintained. These animals also actively transport salts from the external dilute medium with the help of special salt cells called ionocytes. There are certain cells are sites. Ionocytes, the cells that maintain the ionic composition of the inorganic salts. So, from external dilute medium, they maintain their internal environment. Ionocytes are found in the amphibian skin and gills of fishes. The amphibians, they are mostly freshwater living or dwelling animals like frogs, salamanders, and others. So they keep maintain their osmoregulatory function. Likewise, the fishes have gills. They are having certain cells to maintain balance of ions of inorganic salts through their gills. Now this is for the aquatic animals. Now this was for the water animals or aquatic animals that are living in freshwater or marine environment or sea environment. They have certain adaptations in their body to perform osmoregulation. In small animals like amoeba and paramecium, the amount of water and other substances remain in balance by their contractile vacuole. They are unicellular animals. They do not have gills or other large structures. So the vacuole, which is contractile vacuole, is performing the function of osmoregulation. Water with dissolved carbon dioxide and uric acid is collected from endoplasm into the contractile vacuole, which gradually increases in size up to a maximum. It slowly moves to the surface and then bursts out. A new vacuole then grows again at the same spot, and the process is repeated. In freshwater fishes, they maintain salt concentration in their body fluid higher than in the surrounding water. They are hypertonic, so they are surrounded. They expel water and only retain salts inside their body. They lose too much salt or take in too much water. Freshwater fishes do not drink water. The most water comes in through their skin and gills. They also absorb salt through their gills and take in salts in their food. From the blood, salts are filtered by their kidneys, which are reabsorbed. So they produce large volume of dilute urine. This urine is passed out of their body. In marine animals or fishes, by producing a small amount of concentrated urine. So in marine animals, the urine is concentrated. There are two types of fishes. In marine environment, there are bony fishes like sardines, mackerel, tuna, dhota, catfishes. These fishes live in a salty water, so their internal body fluid contains less concentration of salts. This condition is hypotonic to seawater outside their body. The fishes have to expel salts and retain water. These fishes drink water continuously, their mouths, and passes out through the gills. When their blood flows through kidneys, they do not absorb salt. The salts are excreted out along with concentrated small amount of urine. They also excrete salt through their special excretory cells of gills. So in this way, loss of water also takes place through their skin. So not only the kidney, but skin also plays a very vital role in their excretion. The other kind of fishes that are called generally cartilaginous fishes. Their skin is made up and the body is made up of cartilage. They are very big and large fishes, huge fishes, like sharks and stingrays, or bat like sharks. Dogfish is one of the examples of a shark. The largest animal in sharks are man-eating sharks. The rays, which are flat, they are very huge number in oceanic water. They store high concentration of urea in their body. These sharks and rays have a slightly hypotonic condition than their surrounding water. They do not face the problem of water loss. They contain special glands in their rectum which help to remove excess amount of salts. Apart from vertebrates, many invertebrates are called osmoconformers because they have isotonic condition in their body fluid. It is balanced. So this is all about the aquatic vertebrates. Now I pass on to the terrestrial animals. The terrestrial animals which is living on land. Animals living on land, osmoregulation in terrestrial or land animals. A vast group is living on land. The successful group are land animals. They are animals other like reptile, birds and mammals. So they are living on the land or in the air like birds, flying birds, mammals which are on the ground, under the crevices, in the air like bat. They all have adapted well to osmoregulation by making certain changes or adaptation or modifications in their body. The one of the most important modification in the body of reptiles, birds and mammals, they have presence of chitinous exoskeleton and keratinized skin in vertebrates like reptiles and birds and mammals. They have waterproof epidermis. They prevent the loss of water from their body by this means. The insects are also waterproof external covering on their body made up of cuticle. Storing and excretion of solid waste. This is the second important adaptations they have made. In birds, the present reptiles, birds and insects excrete uric acid. It's a nitrogenous substance, excretory waste. It is insoluble in water. It is stored in cloaca for a short time. And in cloaca, the water is reabsorbed and used in the body. Again, the uric acid is excreted out of the body in the form of paste or crystals, like the guano of birds. The bird droppings, they have just white droppings on the wall of a house or some other places. Where they sit, they drop certain whitish toothpaste-like secretions. That is the uric acid. Next important adaptation is the storage of harmful dissolved material. Mammals do retain some urea in their kidney. They store urea in their kidney. Due to the concentration, more water is reabsorbed in the kidneys. So reabsorption of water takes place. Along with the excretion, more amount of water is reabsorbed during the physiology of excretion. Storing the next point is storing the waste, which I have described now. Last not the least, but use of metabolic water. Use of metabolic water. In some mammals, fats are converted into simpler compounds. As a result of this process, water is produced, which is reused in the body. In this way, the animals use metabolic water like camel, rat, kangaroos. How the metabolic water is produced? When we take carbohydrates in the form of sugars, the sugars are absorbed into the intestine. They are carried through the blood to the cells. On the other hand, we respire. We take in oxygen in a large amount through the lungs. The oxygen from the lungs goes to the blood, and from the blood it goes to different cells. When it enters into the cells, the carbohydrate, sugars, or the sucrose, or the starch is broken down into sugar, and sugars are broken down into monosaccharides like glucose or fructose. And when these glucose and fructose, they are oxidized by the oxygen, ultimately the carbon dioxide is produced, water is produced as a byproduct, and energy is released, and this is used for the purpose of work. This is how the work is done. So this is the aspect of osmoregulation. Desert animals, or mostly mammals, are very much resistant in this regard. They can tolerate against dehydration by special metabolic and behavioral adaptation. This characteristic is called anhydrobiosis. This is mostly in camels. They have a storage of metabolic water in their stomach and their hump. Actually, the animals feed upon seed of desert plants in which large amount of carbohydrates are stored. During the breakdown of these carbohydrates, water is produced, as I told you earlier, as a byproduct during the phenomena of assimilation that is utilized by these animals. The best example of such animals is kangaroo, rat. They avoid daytime heat and emerge at night. So they are more active in the night. They are nocturnal in habit. They become active in the night time, but they avoid heat. They go to shady places. They live in the dark. They prefer to be in the dark. So they are nocturnal in behavior. 90% of the water they use is metabolic water derived from cellular oxidation. So this is what the osmoregulation in deserty or land animals. This is one of the very good examples in the sheep of the desert, which is called camel. A very unique feature which it has. So this is what we have to learn about osmoregulation. So after this presentation, study material and home assignments will be provided on Google Classroom link, which will be provided in your WhatsApp class group. Today's home assignment is define homeostasis and three aspects of homeostasis, definition of osmoregulation, and how does the osmoregulation occurs in land animals with harsh and hard conditions of life, and osmoregulation in small protozoans by contractile vacuole. So this is your assignment. Make sure to read today's book topic from this textbook. The textbook has a good detail about the subject. Another book to help out you by Dr. Farid. If you have any question or any problem, you can ask me in the chat section. You can ask me in the chat section. Thank you very much. This is all about. See you again. Allah Hafiz.